Welcome to the Vancouver Side, your video blog of everything north of the Columbia River. I'm Jim Maines, and this is Gary Bach.
Today we're going to look at turning the town purple. June is World Elder Abuse Awareness Month, and we're going to look at Clark County's efforts to protect our elders and other vulnerable adults from all variety of abuses.
We're also going to be interviewing Diana Krushmar of
Fort Vancouver Convalescent Center, Caretique Memory Care, and the Park Lido Assisted Living, where I'm the Health Services Liaison. I'm also the chairman of the Friends of the EJC's board.
Take it away, gents.
Let's do it. Today on the Vancouver Side, we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're taking a look at Clark County's efforts to protect vulnerable adults.
Diana, tell us a little bit about our first guest.
It would be a privilege. 30 years ago, our elected prosecutor, Art Curtis, opened up the Children's Justice Center. And in 2010, our newly elected prosecutor, Tony Golick, took it to the next level. He opened up the first Elder Justice Center in the state of Washington, right here in Clark County.
Probably one of the most impactful cases that I've ever handled was the case of the death of Jeanette Gall, and she was really brutally murdered by her son. Her son had been in jail. He had issues with alcohol, and there were financial disputes. She was afraid of her son. He had raged against her for several days before killing her. The whole family was afraid of David Gall. So they came to the Clark County Courthouse, and they tried to get a protection order for Jeanette Gall to get David Gall out of her house so that she'd be safe. She had difficulties though. She didn't want to get a protection order against her own son. She wanted to try to reconcile with him. And it was a difficult process to get that protection order. The results were absolutely tragic. The case was a very sad case. And I felt the whole time that I was prosecuting that case that if Jeanette had had better access to the courts, and if law enforcement, prosecution, and the courts had reacted better when she was trying to get help from the courts to get her son out of her house, that perhaps that really horrible crime, maybe it wouldn't have happened. It really made me think that we needed to do better in Clark County. We needed to do everything that we could in Clark County moving forward to make sure that when an elder person like Jeanette Gall, who really needs our help, is looking for our help, that we're there to do everything that we can. And that's the reason that I, along with so many other people here in Clark County, moved forward to establish the Elder Justice Center. Now we have a model here in Clark County where elder abuse is seen as something that we really need to work on.
So the case we just heard from Tony is one of the most egregious cases we've looked at in Clark County, but there are so many others that happen on a daily basis. 75% of all the cases that came through the Elder Justice Center were cases of financial exploitation. As we move to talking with Superior Court Judge Diane Woolard, she can talk to you a little bit about what she's experienced in her courtroom and how vulnerable adult abuse can impact at such a level that even stealing $100 from a vulnerable adult can take away their independence, can take away their dignity, and we know that seniors who have been abused have a mortality rate 3 times higher than seniors who haven't been abused.
One of the cases that comes to mind is Pamela Leibel. And what I've seen in a number of instances that there are abusers out there who would keep an eye on a neighborhood. If they see a neighborhood like an over 55 neighborhood, they'll keep an eye out for someone who is single, usually a woman, and then come into their view and into their world as their best friend. The abuser in this case, oh, you need some help with yard work, I can do that, and I'll do it for free or for a very low price. And then it came into he was spending $12,000 to fix her deck and $50,000 to re-side the house. None of this needed to be done, but he got into her situation such that she trusted him, and oh yes, reminded him of his mother, and a number of ways to get her confidence. And he had taken so much money from her that she didn't buy cosmetics. She used dish soap to wash because she didn't have any money to buy nice things. And she used a packet of cereal and divided it in 3, little packets with some raisins, because she didn't have any money left to buy herself groceries for food. But she so trusted him that she was willing to sacrifice everything so that she could help him, because he had a brother that needed help, he had a son or daughter that needed help, and the situation was so egregious that fortunately some of the people in her church had noticed what was happening. She'd lost so much weight, and brought it to the attention of the courts. Now here's a woman who's can play the piano for the church, can drive her car, but there was something not right in what she was doing, and so she was a vulnerable adult, both because of her age and the fact that she was being financially exploited. So there are a number of these situations that you have to keep an eye on.
I have the pleasure of sitting here with somebody very important and very special to me. This is retired Police Sergeant Bob Hunter. Bob Hunter was my criminal justice teacher in 1984 at Clark College. Bob and I want you to know that vulnerable adult abuse protection is so important here in Clark County. And here are just a couple statistics I want to give you. Last year as a nation, we lost $2.6 billion to elder financial abuse. We also know that folks who suffer from dementia, 50% of those folks will be abused at some time in their life. And just for numbers and the war on vulnerable adult abuse, at a federal level, federal dollars, 92% of those dollars go to combat child abuse. 7% of those dollars go to combat domestic violence. And only 2% of those dollars go to fight vulnerable adult abuse and protect seniors like retired Police Sergeant Bob Hunter. So as we go forward, please join Bob and I as we move to turn the town purple. Because as we say at the Friends of the EJC, the triumph of evil occurs when good men do nothing. And Bob and I ask you to stand with us and do something. Right, Bob?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You gotta get people to do something.
Thanks for watching the Vancouver side.
Well, thank you two for what you're doing for elder abuse, but now you two run along. Get out of here or you get a little elder abuse.
Whoa.
Thanks for watching the Vancouver side.